Hello, YouTube, and welcome to the Builder's Diaries, where I build a business and a body at the same time. I just got back from the gym building that body, so I'm feeling pretty good today. Today, I'm just going to be talking about the business. I've got one really big thing to share with you guys. I made a breakthrough, and I want to share that because I'm kind of moving, not really in a new direction, but different messaging, and I think it's really going to really help me. So I wanted to kind of share the story of how I got a breakthrough. All right, so Thursday afternoon, I called my mom on my drive home, and I don't really talk to my mom and my dad very often, but when I do, I talk to them when I'm driving home. And I called my mom just, I don't know, it's been on my mind to call her, and I wanted to talk to her about, her menopause experience, because I'm 41 years old. I'm getting into that age of menopause, and well, not menopause, but perimenopause, and I wanted to kind of see what her experience is, because they say talk to your mom, figure out what your family went through, because a lot of the times it can be genetic. So I decided that, hey, this is the time I need to call her. And I just felt this nudge to call her. And it's been on my mind to call for a while, but I finally just felt this nudge. So I followed the nudge and I called, and I was like, hey, it was like just curious, because I'm in that age. And I was expecting, because my mom, she's pretty healthy. Like, I remember my mom exercising and being healthy, but following the standard American diet, following the food pyramid, following what we were told is healthy, following what you're supposed to do that's healthy, and I remember her always following that. So I kind of was just like, okay, thinking that she probably had it, mid 40s. Like, I'm cool. Like, it's too early for me to talk about this, because honestly, I posted in a group kind of like a couple months ago or so. It was probably 6 months or so ago, about perimenopause and about how I have no symptoms and I feel amazing and blah, blah, blah. And I was just shot down. Like, I was literally like berated in this group for saying, you're too young, you have no idea, you can't even speak, like, you don't know it's going to hit you, like all this stuff. And so I was kind of like, all right, I'm going to stay away from that topic, because it was a lot, and for me, I don't have that thick of a skin. So for me to get all these people coming at me, like, it was hundreds of comments about how I'm just like don't know what I'm talking about. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to talk about menopause or perimenopause, and I'm going to wait to talk about that, because it's not my time. So talking to my mom, thinking, okay, it's still probably not my time, I was like, okay, when did you go through perimenopause? And she was like, well, I went through it in my late 30s, because I had fibroids and I had to have a hysterectomy without getting rid of the ovaries, so she kind of went through it a little bit early. And she wasn't kind of induced in a medical hysterectomy. She had kept her ovaries, so she still had them and kind of went through it. But she experienced, fibroids in her late 30s, and she experienced perimenopause in her late 30s. And I do remember my mom struggling. I remember her hot flashes constantly. She would just complain all the time about being hot constantly, and so I remember this was a thing. And so I was always scared. You guys, I was always really scared of kind of getting into this time, because of watching what my mom went through, and I was like, that sucks. I don't want to have to go through that. And I feel great, you guys. And I'm like, all of a sudden, is it just going to hit me and I'm going to feel bad? Like, this is the story that we're told and we're fed in our head, And so I'm thinking that I'm just going to go along and all of a sudden just get hit, and I'm not going to feel good, and everything's going to go to hell and all this. So I'm kind of thinking that this is going to happen. So I was just like, wait, what? Like, let me step back first, and so that's insane, because her genetics and my genetics, I've been able to overcome that. Fibroids, you guys, are genetic. Most women, I think I read that 70% of women by the age of 50 are going to have some sort of fibroids in their body. Fibroids are very heavily tied to the lymphatic system, and very heavily tied to toxins in the body and what you're feeding the body. So it's no surprise that most people are getting fibroids, because most people are not eating properly for the human body. So for me, I'm like, duh, of course, like that makes more sense. So I was like, I don't have fibroids. But what's interesting to me is that when I was taking birth control and I was eating a standard American diet and I was eating, meat and all this, I had major period issues, you guys. And this was probably in my, early 30s or so. I probably stopped seeing a women's doctor, I think late 30s or so, but early 30s, I would go to the women's doctor, and you guys, I would skip my period for 3 months at a time, and I was told this is normal for me. I would have black blood, and I was told this is totally normal for me. And it was chalked up to the fact that I'm small, and chalked up to the fact that I have low body fat and I'm small. And I'm just like, okay, thinking, the doctor knows, right? The doctor knows exactly what he's talking about, so I'm going to listen to him. So it's funny, because fast forward now, I've changed my diet, I've changed my habits, I've changed a lot of things. I've done some really heavy detox. I've gotten a lot of things out of the body, like heavy metals and chemicals and pesticides and all the things that are kind of stuck in the body. I've done some really deep work to get this out. And I have transformed my period, you guys. I used to have pain. I used to be in so much pain. I had to take the day off. I had to sit in my bed with a heating pad on my stomach because I had so much pain, like right when I would get my period. It was not fun. And I would have heavy periods. It was not okay. It was just totally not fine. And it was kind of reminiscent of what my mom went through. And it reminded me of what the stories I would hear of my mom and what I saw as a kid that my mom went through. And that's what I thought was normal. But on this side, you guys, I don't experience that at all. I don't have painful periods. I don't even know when it happens. It's so light. It's like it's like 4 or 5 days and it's like barely anything. And it's like, it's over. It's so freaking healthy. I've never really missed the period. I will kind of have irregular periods, like where I'll have it at 4 weeks or 5 weeks, kind of depending. And so I don't really know if that could be me in perimenopause. And that's my symptom is my periods are a little bit off. They used to be really, really consistent with like always on time. And now I'm kind of seeing them shift a little bit. But I'm also taking herbs and I'm also kind of playing with my diet. I'm also going in and out of detox. So that could be that too. It's just hard because there is no test for perimenopause. It really goes to your symptoms, and you look back to the body of having symptoms. And most people have a lot of symptoms. They don't feel good. They got the hot flashes. They have sleeping issues, the weight gain, they can't get the weight off. And that's not my problem. I've always had weight issues. It's very easy for me to gain weight, but when I'm eating the wrong food, it's very easy for me to gain weight. So this was almost like a huge aha to me, basically, because I'm healthy, you guys. It's like I can't go out there and be like, oh, like it's hard for me to relate to people, when I don't have the story of overcoming these health challenge and all that, because I'm very healthy, but I have overcome period pain, you guys, and this was horrible. And overcoming, what I was told from my women's doctor and what I experience now, I can tell you for a freaking fact, black blood is not normal. Skipping your period for 3 months every year, like for several years in a row, is not normal. Don't let anyone tell you that this is normal. And, having a heavy flow and all that, that's not normal. You shouldn't have pain. It shouldn't be heavy. You shouldn't have these symptoms, you guys. And it has nothing to do with body fat. I can tell you, and maybe a little bit, I'll step back on that a little bit, but I am actually lower body fat now, and I have healthier periods than I did when I was told that it was my body fat and my low body fat causing me to not have healthy periods. So don't let people tell you that it's because you don't weigh a lot or because you have a lot of body fat. That's not necessarily always the case. There could be some things into play on that, but not necessarily always the case. Don't let people tell you that, because now I can tell you I'm having very, very healthy periods, very healthy pain-free periods. And I have the lowest body fat I've ever had in my life. I'm at like 17.2% body fat, you guys. You can have healthy periods at a low body fat for women. I can tell you that right now. I wasn't having periods at 16% body fat when my doctor was telling me that it was normal. So just tell you that right now. Or not 16, sorry. At 17 and 18% body fat. 16, I can't get to 16%. 16% body fat's really hard for me to get to. For some reason, I like my fats. My body doesn't get to 16%, but I'm in the 17s, 18s. And in that range, the doctor told me that was normal for me to have issues with my period if I'm that low of body fat. It's not true. Not true. Because I don't have it now, so why was I having it then? But I will say that I've overcome all these issues. I don't have the pain. I don't have those issues. And sometimes it will come back. Sometimes I do have some pain. Sometimes I kind of struggle with it. And the number one thing, if I have any sort of pain, I always look back to, what was I eating? What was I eating? It is so tied to my diet. It's not even funny. So this to me was like the biggest aha. And like, I was talking to my parents and they were just like, like if your diet affects your hormones, then of course it's going to help you not have any perimenopause or menopause symptoms. And I was like, that's like the number one thing my diet does. The diet goes in and it's not just hormones that it's affecting your organs. So we go back to, where are the hormones made? Where is the master computer of the body? It is the pituitary. You're going back to the body and you are healing the pituitary organs. You're healing the thyroid, all of the endocrine organs. You're helping them actually heal and produce hormones better. So, you don't just, I don't know, we'll get into that, but I was kind of like, oh my gosh, I have something. So I went home that day and I actually posted a YouTube reel. It was my first YouTube reel that I've ever posted anything about perimenopause. And I posted that and I was kind of like, oh crap, open the floodgates. I'm going to get attacked. Like, oh man. But it was my experience. It wasn't like, this is a fact or it was me sharing my experience. So you really couldn't argue with my experience. And to my surprise, it took off, you guys. It took off. It does better than any other type of reel that I've done before. So I'm like, huh. And for me, I've been like, okay, what is this high ticket program? How am I structuring my high ticket program? I've been trying to figure it out, and I think I figured it out. So I am going to be focusing on a perimenopause program to help women that are going through perimenopause feel better, lose weight, eliminate their symptoms, and feel freaking fantastic. Because I know that I can help a lot of women with the diet and lifestyle that I live, that I can help people. So the program that I'm doing is not changing at all really from the raw food and weight loss training, because the really cool thing is my program with, how to eliminate your chronic pain, my program with how to build a fitness body with raw food, and my program with how to eliminate your perimenopausal symptoms is the exact same program, you guys, because it all works. Because when you go back to the natural diet, the diet that we should be eating, a raw food diet, it works on almost everything. It's like literally the solution to everything. And I think when I was trying to figure out, at the beginning of what is my message, how do I reach people? You can't just be like, oh, I can help everyone. That's what we want to say. But I never kind of figured out what is that niche? What is that messaging? What does that dial in? And I'm like, it's hormones. It's helping women balance their hormones naturally without medications and without, injections and all the hormone therapies and all the expensive stuff that they have to do. It's helping them. Because raw vegans, you guys, I watch video after video and testimony after testimony of raw vegans, just their experience over menopause is it just stops. They just stop having a period. That's it. No symptoms, nothing. And it's time and time again, I hear this constantly. So I'm like, why don't I help women? Why don't I help women get to this? Because it's amazing to not have to deal with period pain. It's amazing to not have to take the day off because I'm in bed because I have so much pain in my stomach. It's amazing to know that fibroids aren't really going to be an issue for me. It's amazing to have that knowledge. So I am going to, move forward with that. Yesterday, I funnel hacked. I sat down and I funnel hacked for about 2 hours. I went through top raw vegan influencers and also perimenopause programs that are out there. And I really kind of was figuring out what is the common denominator, what is the language they're using, what are the colors they're using, what is that? And kind of doing that research led me to create a free 3-day perimenopause program. It is a free coaching program. So it basically will give people a taste of my program. And I crafted a high ticket program that I'm going to be offering people. I'm not going to tell the price on this because it's probably going to change. And if you are one of my people, it could change. But it is valued at $9,000, you guys. I was able to come up with all of these value offer things that I can put into my offer and make it super valuable. $9,000 worth of stuff, and you're getting it for less than half of that. So I'm really excited. I have a little bit of work to do, but again, I'm not going to do anything. What I did yesterday is I built a funnel. I built a simple landing page. I built a waiting list. So what I'm going to do now is I'm promoting this waiting list. You guys, the waiting list is going to be down below. As soon as the waiting list gets to 5 people, I start letting people in and I start coaching them and I start going and we start moving through this 3-day program. 3 days of one-on-one coaching of how to get your hormones in balance. So if you spent money, you've spent time, you've spent energy on trying to figure this out, let me coach you for free for 3 days and just change your mind. Get your mind thinking about something completely different. Maybe you didn't think about before. Try something completely different that you've never tried before, because it's kind of crazy to eat just fruits and vegetables and not eat cooked food. That's kind of insane. Like, who would have tried that before? Not many people. But what if I told you it could be the answer to what you're looking for? So you guys, click below. I'm going to drop the link below. Click below and join the wait list. And hopefully by this time I have the wait list going and it's just kind of rolling through, because I can take on 5 people at a time. I am going to do as many of these free challenges as, I see fit, because I think helping people get answers for free is huge. So it's my way of, giving people a taste of me. And at the end of those 3 days, I'm going to pitch them my high ticket offer. They say yes, they say no, but we'll see. I get enough people doing this free thing, I'm going to have enough people to say yes to a high ticket offer. So this is my way to generate more income, but I'm excited. So that's my whole spiel and my whole story. The whole last couple of days has been kind of a whirlwind because I get so excited about this kind of stuff. I'm just like, oh my gosh, let's go. This is so cool. And I think I got so excited because I use ChatGPT, or I use Claude AI actually as a business coach. And I go back and forth with it with ideas and things. And I tell it to act like people I want it to act like. So I told it to act like Russell Brunson and give me business advice. And I basically kind of spieled this out, went through my story, went through my backstory, all that kind of stuff. And it was like, okay, I am acting as Russell Brunson. I was like, you have struck a gold mine. It literally said that you have struck a gold mine. And I was like, I have. I think for me, I was like, that's it. Because speaking to women over 40, let's get super, super specific. Perimenopause women, that's perfect. That's the exact age range of people I'm going after right now. Why don't I just change my messaging, change my wording just a little bit to actually target those people? Because those buzzwords are huge right now. Do you know how many supplements and products out there to help people overcome these symptoms, and they're just masking the symptoms? I can help them eliminate symptoms 100%. And the only time they come back is when you stray from the diet. So you will see how closely diet is connected to this. But all right, click the link below, join the waitlist. I would love to work with you. We could work one-on-one. This will probably be one of the only times you're ever going to get free coaching from me. So click the link, and I hopefully will get to work with you and talk to you soon. Take care, guys.